Ladies and gentlemen, we're hopping right in. Game number one of these Play vs. Trios finals now underway. Hopping in, of course, here with our Saint squad. So we're going to see Ciriuhs, Laysix, and Juneyy make it their way over to their usual location. However, like we kind of seen a little bit before, there is always the possibility of a little bit of extra company. I know especially down towards that Holly Hedges area, it'll get busy as the game goes on. As of right now, looking like it's relatively uncontested here for our Saints, which, of course, best case scenario for them. Not getting challenged off the start is always a good time. Get your truck and get loaded up on all of your shields and health right off the start without even needing to go find any potions. And we see players dropping already. Goofy Goobers, Seb going down alongside Sej and Empty. So that's a lot of players, even right off the start, getting absolutely destroyed. And I think that may be very similar to what we were talking about in the pregame show, where some of these areas look very heavily contested. And with the Saints actually being rather uncontested as of right now, I kind of want to take a look at this Lazy Lake battle here in the far right-hand corner. We do see possibly one player right on their side. These guys don't realize that they're just right on the opposite edges of each other. I'm curious if a fight will end up breaking down. We have, of course, McComplex. Let's take a look and see where he is. Which squad is he from? McComplex again. Okay, so that's the Miami. Oh, okay, so this is the Miami University of Ohio and North Virginia squads, all right nearby, ready to rock as well. But they've actually been able to keep themselves kind of quiet. So quickly, let's take a look at our Saints once again here and see what's been going on here for Ciriuhs, Laysix, and Juneyy. Juney's A-OK. Laysix is getting some parts, it looks like, as well, for some possible crafting later on. And Ciriuhs is at Castle Griffin, or whatever we want to call this thing, because this castle might as well have our name on it, to say the least. Taking another quick look at the mini map here and see what else has been going on here. We do have a battle kind of in the river here. Googly, what is going on with you? Got himself a little bit stuck. He's kind of separated from his team as well. LU, so this is from the Liberty University guys. Who is that chasing him down? They're going to take him down as well. And that is going to be another player gone off the field nice and quick here. Trying to see exactly who these players exactly were. Shot is, that's going to be Bokemi, so I'm very curious actually who exactly that was. So that was York University finding the kill there, getting themselves nice and quickly started here up against Liberty. Let's quickly find our Saints once again here. What are they up to? Not going to let me click on you, is it? Okay, I'm going to go this way then. Hop on back over here with our St. Clair squad. So two players already downed, or two teams rather, completely ousted before we even really get the chance to really get moving. One thing we can start doing, though, is taking a look at how the storm is going to affect things here for our St. Clair squad. Because as of right now, it's a bit of an awkward spot in regards to passing people. With it being down here in the southeastern area, down towards Lazy Lake, it is going to mean that our Saints have quite a far distance to actually make their way back into the safe zone. And they're going to have to go up against a couple other teams more than likely to do this, because the people over on the very, very far end here are going to double check it and see exactly who that is here. So it's Concordia all the way up in the Coral Castle area. They're going to have to make their move. That's going to be the University of Tennessee. Knoxville going to be making their move as well. And then which is this team here in the yellow? That is either UCLA or Michigan State. So definitely possible collision courses. You'll probably hear me bring that up a lot here in these matches here. Just what kind of possible engagements can we have early on? Because we all know that we're going to get ourselves engagements later on in the game once everything starts to really start getting squished down. However, what about in the meantime? What is the possible scenarios that could actually cut off a St. Clair late game push? And definitely these earlier engagements would definitely kind of slam the door on the Saints if they're not too careful. Saints about to get on the move, it looks like. And who is here by the Holly Hedges? Just going to double check here. Again, Womar, Boomer, and Zaz currently in progress of crafting and doing a little bit of extra looting. And that is UCLA, of course. So they have ZD, but that's actually UCLA. Just for further notice here. And it looks like they're going to be okay. Not going to quite find our Saints as of this moment anyway. Hop on through as we see Juneyy. He's got himself a truck, so of course one of the easiest ways to make sure you travel a bunch of distance. Find yourself a vehicle of some sort. They'll be able to make their way over momentarily. Laysix has himself a vehicle, has Ciriuhs as well, so going to be able to drive on through. One of the players from UCLA could possibly get spotted. They're going to scout out this car without question. Do they take any shots, however? Because as of right now, that player is kind of by themselves. And in fact, they are going to actually opt to open fire here. So that is one of the players from the University of California, Los Angeles. And it's going to be Laysix opening things off a little pot shot with a little bit of shield damage. Now, of course, right now it is just Ciriuhs and Laysix out here. Juney's still on the way back. However, he seems to be rather safe from any sort of engagement. He is a little bit further north compared to the rest of these players. Laysix, of course, aggressive as always, ready to just take the shot, even if it seems a little bit improbable. But after what these guys did on Monday, I was saying that was improbable, impossible, and they shut me up and still make the playoffs anyway. So I'm never going to question these guys again. Saints move forward to get just inside of the safe zone. They still have 2 minutes as well, so they got here rather quickly. Who else is on the way, however? We do see just to the north, actually, a battle up against Berkey Doinks and Stinky. So, and double check and see where exactly they are from. So this is Temple University here that was in the engagement with the team in the blue. Of course, we see on the mini-map the Saints are just kind of below this area. This very well could be an engagement that the Saints end up turning on in a few moments as well. Let's take a look at the blue side here in just a moment. So we got Dr. Duke, Mikahu, and Big Riv. That is Ashland University coming up just around the same area as the Saints. And since we see that they're going to really start kind of converging here, onto the Saints in just a second. Let's hop on over to our squad. Let's see, move on in just a little bit more forward. Looking to try and find themselves as centered as possible. Get that fort built up. And hopefully the storm is kind of in their benefits. We do see a couple players running from across the field here in the maroon. And then Saints are going to be kind of paired up against two teams in just a moment. However, Saints in a good position in regards to the high ground. There is, of course, that building you do kind of see in the background that may make things a little bit difficult for them if they are not careful. So we quickly free camera here and see who exactly do we have up here on the high ground that could possibly find the Saints in a rough spot if they are not careful. All the way up in the purple, we have Sage, Dip, and Tripod. Remember them from our group in the last series on Monday. And that is actually South Regina University for that squad. And Laysix actually, in the meantime, is... I thought he was on the hunt, but it's actually Ciriuhs in front of them there. That makes a lot more sense. Opted to get rid of the high ground. Maybe just felt a little bit too much pressure. Opt to try and squeak themselves a little bit closer, especially since the storm, of course, just kind of blindsided me there for a second, but it did not go in the Saints' favor at all. They have so much traveling to do, and there are so many players nearby as well. This is going to be very dangerous to try and traverse all the way into the safe zone. We see Ciriuhs, we see Laysix. Where's Juneyy? Okay, Juneyy is right there behind, so all Saints nice and close together at least. That being said, though, dead ahead here. Ciriuhs might have spotted it originally. There is still some players just ahead of him here. I like the idea there from Ciriuhs because he's not the only one, not the only team here that needs to try and make their way into the zone who are kind of caught out pretty far away, especially if only 50 seconds left. So they're going to kind of sit for a second. They're not too far away. They can easily outrun the storm if necessary. Maybe they can find themselves a straggler or two, get themselves a couple points in regards to eliminations. Looking at the Saints, at least in regards to their arsenal, their weapon area this time by, at least for Ciriuhs, that does not necessarily look the most impressive, but he does have at least a bunch of shields if the Saints do end up getting into a lot of PvP combat. Juneyy looking a little bit well equipped, however. Close range distance, not too bad, just no bow and arrow for long range combat. But assault rifles will definitely do the trick. And okay, Laysix, he looks like he's ready to fight. He looks pretty good as well in regards to his arsenal. So it's only Ciriuhs who maybe got the short end of the stick here in this the looting phase as he gets ready to move on forward. Getting a little shots taken at him from, I believe that would have been the northwest, as we do quickly hover on over. Let's zoom on in, see exactly who that was. That is Dr. Duke still in his squad over there at Ashland University. So trying to get a quick peek, but other than the 24 damage done to Ciriuhs, not too bad. Juneyy and Laysix took a little bit as well, actually. So a couple small shots here. A couple shots through the wall as well there. Good pressure from Ciriuhs onto the purple squad at the bottom. Of course, Saints are kind of fortified up. However, they are not in the safe zone still, so they're not going to be able to stay here. Using their cheaper resources for the most part. Just using the wood just to have kind of a temporary thing. And a nice little shot there from Laysix. Going to do a nice quick 56 damage onto the player on the far side. Again, from Ashland. So good shots there. Ashland is actually in a very rough spot. If we take a look at the minimap, you can see them in the bottom left-hand corner, running right alongside the storm, try to make their way in. And if anything, I think the Saints are looking to actually cut them off. We'll see in just a second, actually, as soon as the server catches back up, exactly what ended up going down here. Look at them break into Misty Meadows. However, this is going to be a heavily contested area. Shots fired. Ciriuhs had himself to jump, but he's not going to quite find the shots he was looking for. Still not quite in the safe zone as of yet. Ciriuhs finds his opportunity, gets one quick shot for 33. Nice little poke, but going to have to eventually give this up and make the move. This is a very tough spot for St. Clair to end up being in, because they could be the ones on the outside looking in just a second. But Ciriuhs going to make sure that there is some sort of fort as soon as you walk on in. Just get into the safe zone and nothing more. Take a look free cam style in just a second. If it will let us. No, we are all the way out in like the middle of nowhere. So we're going to bring her right back over to our players and first-hand view. But who is right nearby. We have ourselves a couple teams. We have Ashland right next to us as the Saints are in the midst of loading up once again. Take a quick look again. Iconic is here with his squad. We have quickly, that's okay, it's Roy with them. It's Wilgo as well. We'll take a look and see exactly where those guys are from in just a second. Some additional shots fired. Actually, not necessarily going in the Saints' favor as of this moment. Big Riv, though, going to have to run alongside Mika. Dr. Duke right there as well, taking some damage. Ciriuhs taking some damage as well, down to 50. And the Saints are actually very low on shields, considering they all had so many. This battle is just not necessarily going into their favor. Now they're kind of point blank here with Ashland and with other teams right around the corner as well. It's a very dangerous spot, once again, for the St. Clair squad to end up being in. Laysix has to be careful. If he breaks one wall too many, he's going to eat a shotgun blast, and that's exactly the case. Laysix gets jumped on. Juneyy is getting absolutely crushed here, down to 12 HP. Has the submachine gun out, and we'll see exactly how this ended up turning out here for him in just a second. Looks like he did find himself safety. Of course, all the action. Even the servers themselves having a little bit of a hard time here today. Ciriuhs and Juneyy, of course, down to 20 some odd HP. The fact that they're so low already makes this extremely brutal, to the point where Ciriuhs, he can't even do much traversing throughout the storm as well. But every little bit is going to hurt. Only having bandages to try and get himself back into this game. And the fact that all of these healing resources have been taken down before we even make it to what I would call the end game here in this Fortnite match is making it look like the Saints are going to be either on the outside looking in or possibly one of the mid-pack teams as of this moment. Shots fired. Juneyy going to just barely get out of dodge just in time. But with all of them basically blowing everything, Laysix is the only one who has some health kits. He could try to bring this one around so everybody gets topped off. At the same time, though, they did not have much time to even make their moves as the storm is on its way. And the area that they're trying to go to is extremely heavily contested here, as we do see Laysix end up taking a bit of damage in the meantime. Of course, the Ashland squad right above us. We do see 7 Mars and Biggs as well, so that is going to be the winners from our heat, I believe, is the winners of Heat 1, so that is the University of Maryland. Off to the side as well. Juneyy and Laysix both get absolutely shot down, and once again, picking up where they left off, just solid positioning from the side of University of Maryland, just absolutely shred Laysix and Juneyy, and that really is rough here for Ciriuhs as well, because he does not have those healing resources that Laysix did. So in order for him to get that med kit, he is going to have to pretty much expose himself to some gunfire, and that is just going to be an absolute bad time all around. Crazy Sayward and Cool Gamer as well in the vicinity. And I do not blame Ciriuhs for just kind of taking his time here as of this moment. Well, let me sit back. Nope, we're still in the middle of nowhere in regards to the free camp. Still haven't learned to keep my camera attached to the players, interestingly enough. So we live and learn to continue to play here off of Ciriuhs' point of view. Gonna really have to see how leveled is his stealth in this game. We'll see momentarily. Trying to make his way forward. Jump cards are there, but I mean, he's not going to really want to do it. If he makes one wrong move, he is going to be face-to-face here with the University of Maryland, which, granted, University of Maryland also have to make a move due to the storm. They don't want to be too quick here, and again, it's going to be Ciriuhs going down, as Maryland is going to shut down the Saint squad, all taking them down. Beggs getting himself all 3 of those eliminations. Definitely showing why they were first in our heat during the playoff sessions on Monday. And with that, Saints do drop out rather early. I believe they got 24th in this round in regards to their positioning, and I don't think they really got anything off of eliminations. So a rough start here for the Saints this time by. But with this, we can kind of hop on in and just kind of catch as much action as possible, because we have to wait for the game to finish up anyway, so we might as well just roll with it here. So looks like we're going to end up rolling alongside here with the side of the University of Maryland. In regards to the actual storm position right here for themselves, this doesn't exactly work very well for Maryland. They've kind of got themselves a little bit stuck. More and more shots here. Thanks for the Siphon, Eagle, Janks, and this is going to start getting rather messy here. So here we go. We're going to hop on over here to Bogo, Cooler Gamer, and King. Okay, so this is another team that does start off usually rather near us towards this wasteland. So this is the University of Tennessee Knoxville, actually, kind of going up head-to-head here with Ashland and many more just in the nearby vicinity. Looks like UCLA players right around the corner from them as well. Kind of stuck in a corner, but a nice little shot there from King to take one down. Could he possibly find another one? Whoever that team is off in the far distance, they just don't have anything in regards to shields, and that is really starting to hurt them here for a little bit. And it looks like OCP does end up going down, so point on the board for Tennessee. And OTP on the side of Butler University, and with Exro, I believe, also going down. That should mean it's just Swayward left. However, it looks like Swayward actually goes on a little bit of a killing spree for himself as well, keeping his team in the game. And keep right along here with King for just a second, as we're still extremely stuck in this position. Let's see, one more time. Free cam, will you go with me? Yes, we will actually get ourselves back here. So there we go. Gonna hop on in and try to get ourselves a better point of view. It looks like King does manage to find himself one elimination as well. And they end up picking off... Ooh, that was big if they end up taking down. You gotta take him out nice and quickly. Snowy and T-Jones here just on the inside of the storm. And this is where it's gonna start getting nasty real quick here for all of these players. As if it wasn't bad enough. Now that all these forts basically mean nothing, because the storm is just going to go right back to where it was in just a moment. UCLA kind of leading the charge here, basically building a fort for everybody and puts themselves in a really good position. Meanwhile, the rest of the team's kind of on the low ground, really forcing themselves to try and make a play happen here. It's going to be Hush, Pozak, and Stendo leading it for the low ground side of things. There goes Wilgo as well. Elite, Connor, Gage, and Exceed, another set of players from our heat on Monday. And does anybody have a crazy high ground advantage? The closest thing we have is way further in the distance. But this storm is not small enough to really just give someone the bird's eye view and like super sitting duck, so to speak here. And it looks like King finds himself another one, finds Stems. Mars is down on the side of Maryland, so good kill there. Seven goes down as well, so some of these higher seeded players kind of dropping right in the midfield, which could be absolutely crazy for these late game or the late series implications. And we're just basically running along the storm here. King finds himself another kill. The storm does take down Lucky, it looks like. You see Cooler Gaming does end up getting taken down. That's going to be Wilgo, who looks like he... Or no, he's on his own team, so duh. Not going to take him down. So play ends up going down. Let's quickly hop on over back to player point of view here. King basically in the mix of it with Dr. Duke. One of the players I was chasing us for a long time here. Wilgo knocks him down, but it's not going to be in their favor this time by, as they just get absolutely eliminated. Gage, Connor, and Exceed here. Okay, so we're running along here with Bay State right now. These guys started all the way off on the far right-hand side of the map, making their way into the center and doing A-okay for themselves as of this moment. Got themselves a good handful of eliminations and are still here as the top 5 teams remaining in this matchup. One UCLA player. Okami is still in here as well. And that's just here on the lower floor. Is there anybody else here? Pozak and Kapler and Toastiest Waffles. Some other players are doing very good jobs in our heat. Basically, majority of this heat, if not this entire remaining squad here, I believe are all players from our heat. UCLA does eventually get eliminated here as the as a college squad is going to take them down. Hush is making his move. That's from North Virginia Community College. The runner-ups in the other division, Heat 2. Kozak's still there alongside him. Gage opening fire. We're going to have ourselves a little bit of a low ground battle. Toastiest Waffles looking to make a dive play onto one of the players from the top rope, if you will. Right along here a little bit longer with Bay States. There's still 3 compared to the other squad, which I believe has 2. Toastiest Waffles and Kapler looking to make the play, however. I think that was some pretty decent damage done onto Kapler. And actually, it's going to be the 1v2 or 1-on-1 now, as it's just going to be up to Lee Connor as well as Kapler. Kapler with the dive bomb to finish the game and gets the victory for his team. And this is going to mean that's the University of Central Florida who are going to find Victory Royale in game number 1. This gets a little bit more interesting when you actually know where the players are from, at least in regards to their collegiate institutions, or at least can quickly look it up here. So nicely done there from all these teams. In regards to St. Clair themselves, however, they do kind of find themselves falling out a little bit early, and unfortunately, it's kind of picking up the same pace that we saw on Monday. That being said, though, it's not about trying to just make it into a position this time by. We need to go up as high as we possibly can because this is it. This is the final match of the night, and the or the final, not the final match of the night. Of course, it's the only match of the night, but I mean it's the final game of the entire season, the entire Saints season, unless something actually even happens during the summer. So obviously want to be doing their damnedest here, try and get themselves back into the game. Going to quickly take a look, see where this does end up putting them. See if they did manage to squeak out an elimination or two in that one. Of course, if you want to follow along live at home and not wait for me for this, ! standings in the Twitch chat will bring up the Fortnite tracker of this event. So you'll be able to catch it all there. And out of the 32 teams here in this, so Saints are going to basically be staying exactly where they were in regards to position. So they got eliminated in 24th. That's where they're staying. They're staying in 24th right now. No eliminations to get things going there. So bit of a rough start in that regard. But of course, we have 5 more chances to get ourselves up there. So going to take this to a very, very, very quick break before we get into game number 2 in just a second. I do believe just have to wait on the delay, so that should not take too long at all. A little bit quicker than last time. Very quickly, do something fast. Okay. And yeah, we're going to take ourselves to a very, very quick break. I'll catch you when the bus drops next time. Bye.